Confidence is built through structured repetition. A lot of people think confidence is something you either have or you don't. Like some people are just born with it. They walk into a room with certainty, they speak clearly, they move with belief, they take action without hesitation. But I don't think that's the case because in my life, confidence was never something I magically felt. It was something I built, and I built it through structure and repetition. Not hype, not motivation, not waiting to feel ready. Structure, repetition, and standards. That's where real confidence comes from. One of the biggest lessons football gave me was this: you don't become confident on game day. You bring confidence with you because of how you prepared before the game ever even arrived. That confidence was built in practice, in repetition, in meetings, in drills, in film study, in conditioning, in doing the same things over and over until execution became second nature. That's why coaches preach the 5 Ps. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. That wasn't just a saying, it was a system. That was a way of thinking. And the older I get, the more I realize that principle applies to business, discipline, leadership, and life just as much as it ever did in football. Because confidence is not random. Confidence is built through structured repetition. Most people chase confidence backwards. I think a lot of people are chasing confidence the wrong way. They think, I need to feel more confident first, then I'll start. I need to believe in myself more, then I'll become more disciplined. I need more motivation, then I'll become consistent. But most of the time, it works in reverse. You don't act because you feel confident. You become confident because you've acted enough times with structure behind you. Confidence is earned evidence. It's the result of keeping promises to yourself. It's the result of repetition. It's the result of preparation. When you've done something enough times the right way, your mind starts to trust you. That trust is confidence. What football taught me about confidence. In football, you didn't just step on the field hoping things would work out. You prepare for the moment before the moment ever came. You ran to the play again and again and again. You practice your footwork. You studied assignments. You learned timing. You corrected mistakes. You repeated fundamentals until they became automatic. Why? Because when the pressure shows up, you don't rise to the level of your wishes. You fall back on your training. That's why structure matters so much. Structure removes guesswork. Structure removes chaos. Structure gives your mind something solid to stand on. And repetition turns that structure into confidence. So when the moment comes, you're not hoping, you're ready. That applies to sports, that applies to business, that applies to life. Business works the same way. A lot of contractors, business owners, and men in general say they want more confidence. But what they really need is more structure. Because confidence in business doesn't come from saying, I'm the best. It comes from knowing. I know how I started my day. I know how I answer leads. I know how I estimate jobs. I know how I schedule my week. I know how I follow up. I know how I carry myself with clients. I know how I perform when it's time to execute. That kind of confidence comes from reps. The more structure you build into your life and business, the less you have to rely on emotion. And that matters because emotion is unstable. Some days you feel sharp, some days you feel tired. Some days you feel inspired, some days you feel uncertain. Structure keeps you moving when emotions change, and repetition makes the movement natural. That's when confidence stops being a feeling and starts becoming a part of your identity. Why repetition matters so much? Repetition gets overlooked because it's not flashy. It's not exciting to most people. Doing the basics over and over, showing up again, repeating the standard, sticking to the system. But that is exactly where confidence is built, because every repetition sends a message to yourself. I do what I say I'm gonna do. I know this process. I've been here before. I can handle this. And after enough reps, you stop second guessing yourself. Not because life got easier, but because your foundation got stronger. And that's what repetition does. It takes what once felt uncomfortable and makes it familiar. It takes what once felt uncertain and makes it practice. It takes what once felt intimidating and makes it manageable. That's real confidence. Structure is self-respect. To me, structure is more than productivity. It's self-respect. When you create structure in your life, you're telling yourself, my goals matter, my growth matters, my standards matter, how I show up matters. You stop living randomly. You stop reacting to everything. You stop depending on mood. Instead, you start building a life that supports who you say you want to become. That's why structure creates confidence, because every structured action is a vote for your future self. And every repeated action reinforces that identity. This is bigger than contracting. This channel is called The Polished Contractor, but this message is bigger than just contracting. This is about the kind of man you want to become. A polished man has standards. He prepares, he repeats what works. He doesn't wait for motivation to save him. He builds systems that keep him grounded. He understands that confidence is not built in one dramatic moment. It's built quietly, daily, repeatedly, behind the scenes. In the routines no one sees, in the preparation no one applauds, in the discipline most people avoid. That's where real confidence lives. So if you've been feeling stuck, if you've been doubting yourself, if you've been waiting to feel more confident before you move, maybe the answer isn't to chase confidence directly. Maybe the answer is to build more structure in your life and repeat that structure until your mind starts trusting you again. Because confidence is not something you wait for. It's something you train. It's something you earn. It's something you build through structure and repetition. That's the lesson football gave me. That's the lesson business reinforces. And honestly, that's become one of my core beliefs behind everything I stand for. Confidence is built through structured repetition. If that message resonates with you, drop a comment and tell me this. What is one structure in your life that helps build your confidence? And if you're a man, a contractor, or a business owner trying to build more discipline, more clarity, and the strongest standard in your life, subscribe to the channel. Because around here, we're not chasing hype. We're building ourselves.